Hi friends, today we are going to deep dive into the use reference hook. Use reference hook, and we are going to develop one application also. How we do use reference hook will be look like. Before going to see this use reference hook and React, uh, how previously this will be act. Like before React introduce like there is a HTML, CSS, JavaScript will be there. This HTML content will be browser will take understandable only the DOM, document object model. This DOM means it's a kind of object. It will convert that every element, like every tag, into the, in the form of object. uh, In the form of object. If you want to manipulate any one of this HTML content in the JavaScript, we are going to reference first take the reference that element using the get element by ID or get elements by class name or get element by tag name. These things are there. Using this, we are going to reference that elements and we are going to store into the we are going to store the reference into the some variable. Using this variable, we are going to manipulate the things, like we are going to manipulate the color, or we are going to change the text, or we are going to change the siblings, or we are going to append the child. These things. Due to the JavaScript, the browser will re-render the DOM element. But after introducing the React, these hooks like use reference and use context, use state, these elements, it will DOM elements will not be rendered. If you take considerably main in the use reference hook, it will not render the element. If you see this definition of the use reference hook, use reference is a React hook that you let you reference a value that's not needed for the rendering. It will need not to render the element. It need not to render the DOM element, not element, DOM element. If you see the syntax of this use reference hook, const reference equal to use reference of initial value. Initial value is like something like null or zero. We can pass anything. It will handles, like if you see in the legacy documentation, this use reference hook, we have already seen the syntax. Use reference hook returns a mutable reference object. Two things we are going to see in this. It will return the mutable reference object whose object is consist of whose object only consists of dot current property is initialized to the passed argument. This argument, what we have passed this argument, it's initialized with dot current object is initialized with this initial value. See, initialized with to the passed argument initial value. The returned object will be persist for the full lifetime of the component. This is the actual. We are going to see here use reference two things. One is it is a mutable reference object and it consists of the dot current property. This property holds the initial value of when we pass in the use reference creation. When we compare with use state will update. Like when we change in the use state, it will going to update. But use reference not will do. Like update means it will render the documentation. It will render the DOM element. Use state will render the DOM element when the modification is done in the use state hook. But use reference will not be render whether any change in the DOM, any change in the its hook in that. When we are going to develop the application, first we are going to open my code editor. We are going to here write two things. I'm going to take first use state. I'm going to compare this use reference with use state. For that, I'm going to take one use state count is equals to set count. Use state of use state of initial value I'm passing as a 0. For this I'm going to take on h2 tag count of I'm inject this count into here. Then I'm going to pass input. Here I'm going to make it as a type is equals to number. Value I'm going to pass count. On change of event, set count of e dot target dot value. I'm going to take one more button called I'm going to make it as a here reference. I'm going to take ref. If you any change in there, this DOM element will be refresh or re-render. If you see this, once again npm run dev. If we go to the browser, I think I forgot here to import, or we can write like this also, react.useState, or we can directly import here useState. You can going to give the class of flex column, flex column, justify content center, and item center, and I'm going to give same 10. I'm going to give the gap of 6. Here I'm going to style this class of border 2 pixel. See here, this little contents of button. It looks like a not empty. Class of border 2. Okay. Padding 4 pixel. Like 4 and py of 2. Reference. If you click on here, see. If you click on this input button, if you change here or otherwise, you can give the update directly. This count is incrementing. Why? How it is incrementing? This is the state. It is re-rendering the object, re-rendering the DOM element. If you go to here console or element, where this, if you observe here, if we change here, see this element is incrementing. If we change here, this element is changing, this DOM element is changing, but where if you use the reference, for this I'm going to take here ref input ref. I'm going to take use reference. Use ref is the one, is also a one of the hook in the React. It will consist of null at present. If you take, first we are going to take this use reference into this value on change class. Here reference equal to input reference. Input reference. If you click on that reference button, if you click on this refer button, we are going to handle this submit button. Input box. Input box. For that, I am going to console.log of input reference. First, we are going to see what will there in the input reference. For that, I'm going to first showing this. I'm going to increase this. Go to the console. Remove this one. Strings. First, click on this. Why it is not showing? Okay, I haven't here on click of input box, or you can like type this also. If you click on this, see, if you see here, it is holding the input. It is this will hold in the input tag. This input here, this input tag it is holding. If you want to see clearly, they use reference dot current. Actually, this input is giving the current object is giving the current is the property. This property takes that input. If you take this input dot current once again refresh this and increment this. See, input type of number class border 0 value 7. If you want to take the value from this, console.log of input reference dot current dot value. Particularly I want only value. For that, click on this, we got value. If you want see this, see 10. If you click on this, we got the value, and this is the input of current. If you want to make it as a comment, input value, see, once again, for knowing purpose, I have given some content here. See, if you 0 input, if you increase this to some 15, if we click on this, input value 15, it is giving. If you want to change, commenting this, if you want to change the some padding of this, make it as some nice padding. For that, input dot current dot style property, style dot of padding 4 pixel and 2 pixel. If you want to see this value also, no problem, you can see. If you click on this, see, it looks like. If you want to give input reference dot current dot style dot border radius equal to some 10 pixel. See, some border radius is changed. If you want to give input reference dot current dot style dot border color gray or green. See, it is changed to green color. If you once again refresh this, if you click on this, see, we got input value. If you want to increment, like this, or we can make it as all properties in a one property, const of properties props. You can take like this, padding 4 pixel and 10 pixel and 6 pixel, border radius 20 pixel or 15 pixel, border color green, outline is none. Instead of this giving like this, we can give input reference dot current dot style equal to, we can pass props like this. If you refresh this, you can pass props. It is not applying like this. Maybe issue with this. Okay, remove this one. Okay, there is a issue with this. Okay, we will see in the later. See, if you refresh this, make it as a 6 and 4, 15, green. Okay, refresh this, increase the count 4, 5, 6. See, it changes to input value is 6, and it will reference also, it will also giving the some green color, and padding is 6 and 4, and it will giving the uh, it will give the border radius of 15 pixel. Like this, we are going to access the input DOM elements using this use reference hook. We are going to do a lot of things in the coming videos. We are going to see 1 or 2 examples using this use reference hook. That's all, friends. If you like my content, please like and subscribe my channel and support my channel.